Yo, we've got the mic in. Yeah, how's the volume? Is it coming through okay? Maybe turn the filter down a bit. And there we go. Okay. So I hope that's loud enough. I'm trying to see what the best mic situation is. I'm not really excited about spending money on a mic just to do this. So, with these headphones, maybe it's a little better mic because this one, it picks up the fan and, it's just, it isn't very good either. So, I'm always a fan of these mics, honestly, and I think they work pretty well in general. So, I don't know. I'm just going to fly with that tonight and see how it goes, see what people think. So, 3 viewers, 2 likes right off the bat. That's a good new record. Thank you. Let me switch to live chat so I can see what you animals are sending in here, because it gets filtered. All right. Good deal. Got some chicken to eat tonight. It's the chicken thigh I didn't eat yesterday. It's a milkshake. I'm like 95% better. My appetite's not super great, which I'm not crazy about because I need to gain weight. And, I had a milkshake today, an orange smoothie. Gonna eat this piece of chicken. Gonna have another milkshake. I don't know how long we'll stream. It's 7, so maybe till like 8:30. Then I gotta watch the new One Piece and watch some Steins Gate, go to bed. What about eggs? What about them? Why do I need to gain weight? Because I lost 20 pounds. And the detox was pretty rough. So I want to have weight on my body. Because it's not fun when you don't. Yeah, I mean, what about eggs? I don't know. I like eggs. Do you like eggs? Yeah, gaining weight's an important part of the diet. So it's helpful to have the weight on. As you'll find if you are exploring this kingdom. Haven't heard of it. I'll check it out. Yeah, One Piece is great. I read the manga as well, so I'm all caught up there. And yeah, a SpongeBob anime. ChatGPT told me you needed to eat raw meat to heal the gut. Yes. Why do I keep detoxing? Well, because I'm a filthy person. For starters, I have 48 injections. I've had 48 injections in my life that I can account for. So, not to mention all the food I ate, the cooked foods, even if they were, healthy, there's still toxins in cooked food. And then that's, the processed foods, the school lunches, the fast food, okay? Environmental toxins from buildings, houses, carpets, cleaning solvents, fragrances, exhaust, general air pollution, plastics. I mean, you stop and think about it, and you think like, oh, it's like, why do you keep detoxing? You don't just have one detox and it's over, guys. That's not how it works. I don't think any of us are healthy enough that we'll never not have a detoxification. And I don't keep detoxing, right? So last month I had a short cold for just a few days. This one lasted almost a week. Before this, I really haven't had a detox since last April. So, and I've talked about this in my live stream. I know I have, that I haven't had a detox in a while. It's probably coming up. So, to ask me, why do I detox all the time, is stupid, because I don't. If I feel super healthy, should I detox? No, your body will do it when you need to. No, I don't think they're over-exaggerated. Yeah, doing drugs for 10 and 20 years is also very bad. It's bad in a different way. But, yeah. But again, some of those people who do go clean, they get clean, and then they can live. So, in the detoxification thing in that realm is, your body's, like I said, your body's got to be healthy enough to get rid of everything. It's got to have the energy and the nutrients to do that. So, I didn't call you stupid. I said it's a stupid question. I don't always detox. You always talk about detoxing. That's not true. That's not true. Sure, the past 2 streams, and then last month when I streamed when I had a cold, yeah, I did talk about it, because that's what was going on. But for a year I haven't had a detox, so I'm not. I was not always talking about it. Okay, how's that? Volume's probably a little better now. Maybe. I don't think it's over exaggerated how bad injections are at all. Thanks for the notification time machine. I suppose I could just try to talk louder too. I try not to do that, but if that's what you need, that's what you need. So, yeah, raw meat will heal the gut. It regenerates the body. That's right. So, that's what happens. And rebuilding the body is your first concern, not detoxifying. It happens. I don't know what set mine off. Probably the cold, the season's changing. And that's what happened. So, put out a new video today about high meat. I had a couple videos on the channel about that, but I noticed it was an old video I made and it wasn't very long, and I noticed it was one of my most popular, and I said, well, it's a highly searched topic, so I'm going to make a video on it. So I gave a pretty concise overview of high meat, my experience, a couple of my jars. I show off a couple of my jars, which I'm going to get rid of. And, I linked the other videos about it for further education. So hopefully that gives people enough background. I just know so many normies who got the injections and they seem fine. Well, yeah, they might seem fine, but people are pretty good at putting on a mask. You'd be surprised. I know people, the two vegans I know, the brother and sister, and they never had an injection. And they told me they're always just blown away at how crazy people are because of the injections. That they're either like slow or something, and they say they just have to remind themselves that, oh yeah, these people are damaged from these injections, so, they're not like us. That's their perspective, which I thought was interesting. But they can just tell, people who've been, injected, so. Hello, what's up? Sorry you missed the Q&A today, but sleep's important. There will be another one Thursday, so you just catch up for that. Not that anybody joined, but yes. Lifelong vegans, actually. Well, they're like some of the healthiest people I know, so. And some of the nicest, level-headed people I know. So, they definitely have a blood type that works for them. But, yeah, they were not raised with any pharmaceuticals, so, you don't have to apologize. It's fine. I'm surprised my turbo boomer father isn't in the grave from getting injections at his age. Yeah. Terrible thing to think, by the way, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, the human body is a miraculous thing, so we will deteriorate eventually. It happens suddenly and then all at once. Chicken testicles and liver was very good. Huh, interesting. Rooster testicles. Yeah, I think I have seen those when I've taken apart a rooster before. I didn't eat them. I don't eat testicles, but why terrible? Well, because it's your dad, and you don't want to think that kind of stuff. You want to keep your mental space kind of clean. I mean, sure, these things are all inevitable, but it's it's not good to talk like that. It's possible they might, but I don't think they will at a rate like most, because they don't have those toxins in their body, right? They've never had pharmaceuticals, so they're pretty clean and healthy overall. Eggs after vegetable juice is always a good idea. I like to put an egg in my vegetable juice, just one, and a little bit of cream as well with the juice. That's how I like to do it. I don't do it that way all the time, but it's good. It's good to do. Yeah. eat some chicken shortly here, I guess. I'm kind of bummed my appetite isn't coming back because I want to gain weight. I need to eat more. But I can't be too hard on myself. I'm just getting over this. So. Oh, I know. Yep, egg. One egg. The egg's different because the egg doesn't have any. It digests so easy, it doesn't matter. It's not like meat, you see? So. Yep, chicken will calm you down. Chicken's a great thing to eat. The conference is every year in July. Every year in July, it's like the third weekend. We've kind of decided that's the time. So we'll officially announce a date in January, and then we'll have early bird tickets on sale in February. What do you think of people who only consume one kind of raw meat? I hope it's working for them. Generally, that seems to be working for people because, like, raw meat will help. It will help your whole body, but some meats are more targeted towards other things, other parts of the body than other types of meat, you see. So, I mean, if that's what people like are craving, then that's what they should eat. I mean, it's pretty simple. And I have one client who's going through a phase of, not really eating any meat, even though he's drinking lots of vegetable juice and stuff. And, it's okay to stop eating meat for a period, and just focusing on lubes and milkshakes. That's okay. You can just do the dairy because even in the workshops, Augenist would recommend people, especially who are very skinny, not to eat meat or to only eat meat twice, 3 times a week. That eating a lot of meat right off the bat wasn't a good idea for their body. They should be on a dairy-only diet for 3 to 6 months and gain enough weight before they start eating the meat. So I suspect that might be my case because my weight has gone down so much. I don't know, because I mean I've lost this weight, so and then this appetite stuff. I don't know. So I'm gonna eat this piece of chicken here and drink a milkshake later. What do I use for laundry? Mostly just water. Usually I just throw it in the machine and turn it on. My clothes don't really get that dirty. If I do need a little shine, a little grease or dirt busting, I add a cup of baking soda and then a cup of white vinegar. So that's what I use to clean my clothes. But generally water works just fine in a machine. So yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, RJ. So much info. Thank you. Yeah. What state am I in? I'm in Ohio, The conference is in Virginia, in Burke's Garden. Yeah, borax is good too. Probably. I don't know. I've never used it personally, but I've heard good things. So, probably worth doing if you need it. But, just ran out of raw milk. Yeah, I hate that. I really don't like that. Can you get it at a store, or do you have to go to like a pickup or something? I've got to go to a farm. I can only get it once a week. Delivered every Friday. Nice. Will I be the face of the primal diet? I don't know. Imagine how much different America would look today if raw milk was never banned. Yeah. It'd be better. That's for sure. Phone's charging kind of slow here. But do I really care? No, actually I don't, because I don't need it. Is this one charged? My casting phone. Did I have bloating when starting the diet? I've been on carnivore for 2 years and switched raw 2 weeks ago. I've been bloated for 2 weeks now. Bloating's a sign of healing, basically, because it's inflammation. So there's fluids going to the gut. Nutrients. Bloating will subside naturally. You have to check in how much you're eating. You know, if you have a lot of bloating and you really want to take care of it, you need to eat smaller meals. That's probably something you should focus on. Like 1/3 of a pound of meat at a time, and like max. And, you know, eating too early, eating too late, you don't want to do that either. The last stages of this detox, basically the same stuff. Less orange smoothies, though. And I'm eating a little more chicken today. Still with the milkshake, but less orange smoothies, more milkshakes. And I need to eat more meat. Aren't the ages of being famous for anything worthwhile over anyway? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's 15 minutes with everything. So, especially with the internet, if you're not constantly doing something, you're old news in like a week. Orange smoothie is a good cleanser. It's good for the lungs, the cough. That's why I was drinking a lot of them. So, that was the reason. You can sip raw milk throughout the day. If it makes you too tired and groggy in the morning, you need to move to doing it in the afternoon and not do it in the morning. There are some people who do milk in the morning. It doesn't affect them in a groggy way. So, I mean, it just depends on your body. So I tend to get a little tired. So I don't like to do milk or dairy early in the day too much. I mean, butter's okay, but like a milkshake or something, it's not ideal. If someone prefers orange Julius, would it be fine to substitute instead of the orange smoothie? I don't even know what's in an orange Julius. Oh, it's just milk with orange. No, I wouldn't advise it because the milk, if you have a sinus congestion or lung congestion, milk is not really helpful for this. So I would not recommend it. I stopped drinking milk, and I stopped drinking dairy really, and just focused on the orange smoothies and some chicken. Um, yeah, so if you really need it, I mean, you can try and see to just use with milk too, but I wouldn't do it. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. The orange smoothie works so much better with just orange and eggs. I don't even use honey. Heavy weed smokers. Yeah, basically eat lots of ice cream and milkshakes. That's really good for the lungs. And eating, chicken will be helpful. Eating lungs themselves will be very good. So that's what you can do for your lungs. You could try to juice the cannabis plant. Some people try to do that because supposedly that will help break down the tars in the lungs. I've never done this. I'm not endorsing doing drugs. I'm just telling you what Ajna said. Some sort of drink to get the cooked tars moving. Chicken is good to heal the lungs, yes. I believe it was like fermented chicken specifically, but I think plain raw chicken would be fine too, because there's a lot of lymph stuff in the lungs, I think, so it would be okay. But yeah, eating lots of lungs, eating the chicken, getting fresh air, exercise, ice creams, and milkshakes. Bleeding gums. Yeah, that's a detoxification of stuff from your gums. So, if your gums are bleeding, you might be taking care of them too much. Like, you might be flossing too aggressively. You might be brushing too aggressively. So, give your teeth a break, maybe, and just focus on cheese pulling and oil pulling, and don't brush but like every other day, and floss only once a week. That's what I would suggest. But yeah, bleeding gums can come and go. So just, yeah, like I said, keep at it with the oil pulling and the cheese pulling, and don't brush too hard. Don't floss too deep. I would read the dental health article on Primal Diet Coaching. Deja vu. Yeah, that's a strange feeling. Yeah, I can relate because I've lost 20 pounds and I definitely look smaller. Seems that I struggle to digest large quantity of fats. Ground lamb meat, fatty. I was very gassy. Is it common to not digest fat? Yeah, it could have something to do with your liver. You're not able to produce the bile to digest the fats very well. So what I would do is eat that stuff with pineapple, or eat a little pineapple every day. You could also do pickled ginger in addition to that. That really helps with digestion. And I've been doing, as I mentioned, the hot honey with the cayenne peppers, the onions, the garlic, whatever. You don't have to put that extra stuff in, but the cayenne peppers might be helpful for you. They might be helpful for digestion. So I would investigate those options. Also, eating less. So you might be just feeding your system too much at once. So, adding the pineapple or the pickled ginger into your diet with smaller meat meals should help. Do I rub oil on my body? No diddy. No, I don't. No diddy. I don't really like the feel of oils. What does it mean when my pupils seem really large? I believe that's an indicator of like psychosis or mania. Hey bro, can I edit your videos for free? Sure, Ben. I mean, I don't know how you mean to edit them, but get in touch. If you want to do that, I'll give you free access to the school. That's actually something I was thinking of doing, was if people want to contribute, they can get free school access, like clippers, editors. I was going to do one for thumbnails, but I'm too good at that now, so I can make pretty good thumbnails. So, but yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested in clipping, doing good clips, editing, and I can give you school access and consultation or something for payment, because this channel doesn't generate any money, and if it did generate money, it really wouldn't be enough to like pay you anything for your time. So I can give you access to the school and other stuff, so make it worth your while. Yeah, it's that's what it is. I've done both. I've done both. I do the thanks, Ben. I'll check it out later. I do both. Not that I do both recently. Now I just do butters because it's easier. I used to buy the animal fat trimmings, grind it with the pineapple. There's a video of that. Do I prefer the taste of papaya or pineapple? I'm going to go pineapple. Papaya is alright. The custard's pretty good. But I really like how pineapple cuts through things, fats and meat. Papaya doesn't do that so much. And papaya also tastes weird if it gets too old. Pineapple has a little bit of more of a shelf life. So I like both, but if it came down to it, I'd say I'd prefer the pineapple personally. So my opinion on GOTUS. I think he's a liar and a narcissistic psychopath. I think he's got a reductivist. Is that the right word? No, that's not the right word. Well, I guess in some ways it's certainly not a positive connotation. His reductivist, naturalist, nihilistic, satanic worldview is not good. I don't think he's not an honest person, and yeah. So I don't think he's yeah. I mean, I've when I was getting into this diet, it was right around his peak, and I'd watched some of his videos, and it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, but I've heard this stuff before. It's like, you're not really. It's just kind of like edgy, nihilistic, appealing to lonely, disaffected teenage boys, and I just thought it was really dumb. His videos were really dumb. Except the nutrition was like pretty good, but then you started reading about ogenus, and you're like, yeah. Ogenus is better, and this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. How can I prepare high meat from home? Well, good news, Ben. I just made a video all about it. So if you watch that video, it's very simple. You get a jar, you get some of these jars, you get the canning lid, you find some good quality meat, you cut it up into small bits, you fill the jar up halfway, you keep the jar in a place between 48 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you air it out every 3 to 4 days outside in the fresh air, and then after a month you got high meat. It's very easy. High meat's illegal? Raw butter is illegal in the UK? That's crazy. I thought, like, Hall Farm delivered butter. Or maybe that people just make it. I don't know. Goatus go to purgatory. No, usually, technically when you die in a state of mortal sin and you are not baptized, you're probably going to go to hell. Benefits to ingesting high meat: it digests easier, it feeds the nervous system more. That's pretty much it. There's some elevated micronutrients because of the aging process, but yeah, Ben, I was pretty sure too that you could buy raw butter unless they recently outlawed it, but because I had some mates over there who do the diet, Primal Cheese UK, he does cheese. If you need cheese on the diet, he ships from the UK. So which reminds me, I need to plug him. Is it Primal Cheese? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes hell isn't a place you go, it's a place you create. I've been eating raw meat for the past 6 months, no issues. Gave some to my buddy, he threw up and got sick. How come? I never had a problem with it. I don't know, man. Some people are different. Here's an endogenous story that I was told by someone. He was at a potluck in North Carolina, and there was this kid who was kind of throwing a temper tantrum. He was like, 3 or 4 or something. Endogenous said, "Oh, give me an egg." So he cracks an egg and he dips his finger in the egg, and he goes over to the kid and he just puts his fingertip with the egg into the kid's mouth, and then the kid he stops crying, and then he starts throwing up everywhere and having diarrhea for like a couple minutes, and eventually when the kid was done, he was happy, and he wasn't sick anymore, and he wasn't complaining, he wasn't whining. So, I mean, I think it is. I don't really see how. I mean, when you think of the notion, like I was talking to my mom's, and because I was like, I'm sick, and she's like, "Oh, you probably just picked up a germ somewhere." Of course, I don't want to turn this into a phone conversation with my mother into a huge argument, but you think, how does picking up a germ do that to somebody for 5 days, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like, one germ is going to make you cough up and sneeze like 2 cups of mucus and have a little diarrhea and sweat out your body. Like, one germ is going to do that. Like, how does that even work? It doesn't even make any sense. If you picked up a germ and it makes you do that, it's a kind of an interesting response to a germ. So, yeah, and just like one germ and your body can't deal with it, and then you have all these symptoms all over your body. It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Look up, Pasteur and his experiments, and Béchamp and his experiments, and one of the other scientists at the time was Koch, Koch, Koch. Koch's postulates was one thing. I'll put it in the chat here. When was the last time I had the flu? I think I just did. Just, this week. I think that was a flu. So, yeah, pretty recently. Just a few days ago was the last time I had a flu. When I blew my nose, a weird booger came out. I mean, quit being cheeky, Ben. Quit being cheeky, Governor. I'm going to have to report you for making indecent remarks in my YouTube live chat without a license. So, don't push me, mate. Yeah, I felt like I was hit by something. My body hurt, my back hurt. I don't know, my back hurt. It didn't make any sense. Like, not just my muscles, but like the skin and my back hurt. I couldn't get comfortable. I had no energy. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a flu. I would say what I had last month was a cold. This is more of a flu. Because I wasn't able to like stand up for a long time, and yeah, it was bad. It wasn't good. So I'd say it was flu. I'm leaning more towards flu. 8 o'clock already. Wow, how time flies. Crazy. Goodness gracious. Do you ever feel clarity, euphoric, thankful to be alive? Sure. Yeah. What does it mean when my vision is kind of wavy when I unfocus my eyes? I don't know, man. Unfocus your eyes? How do you even do that? I think that's just kind of a natural response. Because your eyes should always be focused on something. That's how they work. And if you try to unfocus them, it's probably going to mess up your vision. We have a vision article on Primal Diet Coaching. It'd be good for you to read, probably. Do the eye exercises. Read the books we recommend. Yep, exactly. Time machine. That's what it kind of felt like. It definitely felt bad. Yeah, that's better. A little less bright. Hmm. Uh, Maybe you need to go one more brightness. There we go. My dog brings me meat. He's been aging underground. Wants to share it with me. botulism doesn't really come from the ground. It comes from metal food. So like you put meat in metal cans, that's how you get botulism. Yeah, so I really wouldn't worry about botulism eating raw foods, even if they come from the ground. Yeah, it was probably a month ago when I had rice. Um, yeah, I was kind of going through a sushi kick. I just happened to be making some copies, and I was next to the sushi market, and I was like, oh, I'll just go in and maybe I'll get some of the baby scallops I like. And they didn't have any, but all the sushi was on sale, 50% off, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll treat myself, I'll treat myself. So I did, and I got some sushi. And then I went back and got some, like 2 weeks later. And then I got some more like another week after that. The trick is to go when it's like a pretty stormy day, like it rains all day, it's cold, no one goes to the market. So then they put the discount stickers on them half hour before they close to move the product. And that's what I do. So I remember the first time I ate some, I got a sore throat for like 2 days. It was like because I got the futomaki rolls, which have a bunch of different stuff in them, and the MSG like gave me a sore throat for 2 days. It was crazy. I don't remember anything particularly special or whatever from eating the rice, good or bad. Maybe I slept a little better, but stools were drier. That was a constant. But, I was fine otherwise. I really like the mackerel and the hamachi. Detoxing from shrooms? I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I don't really have a lot to go on there. Could just be a visual mirage, That weird stuff happens all the time. So, do you know why bat feces is bad to breathe? No, not particularly. I don't. I don't know a lot about bats. I'm especially not around a lot of bat feces, so. Okay, wow, big surprise. You used the Big Tech LLM to ask it about high meat, and it told you what it was programmed to say. So, Big surprise there, Ben. Big Ben. Big Ben over in London town. Yeah, no surprises there. Like I said, if you want to learn about high meat, just watch the videos I made. It should tell you everything. Eating rice gives me a sore throat too, and also mouth ulcers. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The cooked starch I want to try next. Not that I haven't had it before on the diet, but as a treat, I've got some nice potatoes, and I want to make a good baked potato. So I'm going to bake a potato and let it cool down some. Put in a lot of butter, and then cheese, sour cream, black pepper, and then fresh green onions on that. That sounds really good to me. Or at least it did, but now I kind of don't have the gumption or motivation to make it. Of course, I've been ill, so I don't really have much of an appetite, especially for something like that anyway. Like it, that's not like a, the starch thing is like a medicinal thing. You do that for a medicinal purpose, and I don't really need starches. It might be good to include one once a month, but I don't know. We'll see. Now that I get a lot of good butter and sour cream, I might be open to it. I have some cheddar cheese left, which I'd like to save for that, because the cheddar cheese with the potato is a lot better than the Colby cheese. So, yeah, we'll see. I eat rice every few days, have no problems with it, and I like it. Yeah, nice. I think it depends on the kind of rice, too. If I'm eating rice, I like to do short grain rice, like sushi rice. Jasmine rice is okay. Masuri rice is okay. I don't like basmati rice. It's too long and dry. Yeah. You've got to use a good water, too, when you make rice. That's another important thing. You don't want to use tap water. So, yeah, bat feces. That's wild, man. I don't know. You have some of the craziest comments. I love it. It's because it's always so unique, RJ. So I really appreciate your insights and everything. Yeah. So how many people we got in here now? Let me check the analytics. Oh wow, 2 likes. Thanks everyone. That's awesome. 6 viewers. Pretty great. Average view duration 9 minutes 42 seconds. 1 hour on the stream here. Okay. Yeah, you got me talking about sushi again. Kind of makes me want to go get some, but when you feel like this, like you getting over a detoxification, I want to stay far away from anything that could result in any sort of symptoms, because I just got rid of them. Do I want to hear more? Sure. Yeah, keep them coming. By all means, take over. Just keep going. There might be some good material there. What cooked meal would you be willing to take a pass on vegetable oil if you craved it enough? I wouldn't say crave is the right word, because I've conquered most of that crave. I have discipline. But for instance, if I was on vacation somewhere, probably some Asian country, I'm thinking like Japanese beef curry with a fried chicken katsu. That'd be fire. Fried pork gyoza, fried rice, a good, like drunken noodles, pad thai, stuff like that. That would be the poison I'd choose. Probably have a cold beer with it. Yeah. That's what I think of. That's where my mind goes to. That's pretty much the only type of food that's worth eating that has vegetable oils in it, honestly. Is Asian food. Cuz like you can make pretty much any European type cuisine without vegetable oil. But in Asian cooking with the wok and the way they fry things, they kind of need the vegetable oil. If you had to order food from Frank Tofano, would you trust the food considering he's mentally ill and literally, it's all frozen, so I'm not going to pay a bunch of money for frozen meat personally. Um, was it someone in the chat who ordered butter from him and it was salted and it was supposedly unsalted? I don't know. He is on his 7th eye surgery. He went to Japan. Speaking of Japan, Frank Tofano went to get his eye surgery in Japan. Hopefully it worked out for him. Chug as much raw milk as I can to help lessen the bad effects. Well, not really. I'm not going to get raw milk in Asia, honestly. Unless I go to Thailand, or I'm in Hokkaido. Like he might spit in your food something or do some weird stuff to it. No, I don't think so. The raw milk would definitely help, but it just isn't, you know, it's unrealistic. But if you could, yeah, I would, I guess. The raw milk and like I said, I'd probably have a beer anyway too, since I was, living it up. Maybe not. I don't know. Um, oh, I know for a fact you can't. The only place you can get raw milk in Japan would be Hokkaido. Possibly. So, that's the only place. I've looked into this, I know. A Masonic square and compass tattoo on his neck. I guess that is interesting, yeah. I don't really pay attention to the guy, but yeah. Strange. Truth is stranger than fiction, after all. It's not that it isn't locked down. It's just Japan is not a very. It's not an island constructive to animal agriculture, really, because it's a small island. So. The U.S. has a lot of agriculture. Like, there's a lot of land to do that stuff. It's not the case in Japan. You can do it in northern Japan because they have the pastures, but even there, it's not all year round. You mean like looking at the sun, like directly at the sun? I don't know. Sometimes if it's like bright out, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I've never noticed it that much. Desire to try whale meat. I suppose I would if I could, but it's not like on the bucket list. I suppose it's not a hot item for me. It'd be kind of like, sure, yeah, I'll try that. Three likes. Wow, nice. Thank you, guys. Viewer count's a bit low tonight, though. Wonder why that is. Oh well. You know, people got stuff going on. Everybody's got stuff going on. Can't expect people to just show up to a rando live stream. Only 200 hours and change until monetization. So it'll be hopefully by the end of next week. I should get monetized. I'm not going to make anything yet, of course, but it's a start. And super chats, that's what it is. Yeah. So, because sometimes the chats do get a little crowded, just like right at it. No, I can't say I look at the sun. I don't look at the midday sun. I do with my eyes closed. That's my version of sun gazing, is to look at the sun through my eyelids, because the infrared still gets through the eyelids. The infrared goes through your skin, so that will go into the eyes. That's my strategy. And yeah. Conspiracy that whale meat is banned because it is insanely nutritious and an incredible healthy source of fat and protein. Yeah. Could be. Whales are pretty chill, though. I don't know how I feel about eating them. Same with like octopus. Krill-fed whale meat. Yep, that's what they eat. Mostly. I think they eat other stuff too, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. Be one of those gray areas for me. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, Time Machine. Plankton. Classic SpongeBob. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Whale blubber, whale meat. Hmm. Plankton, kelp. Try my Dr. Kelp recipe. I should probably make some of that, to be honest. I'll probably do that before I go to bed. Get it percolating and steeping so I can drink some in the next few days. I feel like I probably needs that. I probably need that. Need that iodine. Arg. Yeah, plankton was a menace for real. Meat only diet is dirt cheap where I live. $150 a month. How is it for you? I spend about $150 a month on meat as well, and that's beef, chicken, fish. Oh, interesting. Whale oil was used for frying. Man, I bet whale oil fried rice and stuff was bussin'. I mean, honestly, I don't think the whaling was probably such a big deal when the Japanese population was smaller, but since it got bigger, probably not. Oh, Japan still does whaling. They left the International Whaling Commission in 2019, and now they do whaling. How many whales did they kill? Numbers of whales hunted. So they did 640 in 2018. They left the Whaling Commission and dropped by half. And they did 294 in 2023. 294. subsidized by the government. Yeah, South Park did an episode on this. Not a lot of demand for whale meat, though, in Japan, so... What's up, Walker? Yeah. Global initiative to weaken all human population on Earth. Yeah, could be. Just another nail they're trying to drive in our coffin. Well, I mean... They don't want to get rid of everybody, but... Oh, I know. I used to live in South Asia. I understand. And a lot of these places, they always had vegetable oil, though. It was the mustard seed oil, I think it was. Because, like, it was easy to grow. It was a good cover crop. It was cheap to make. You know, for people... In these places, it was, they needed it. Like they couldn't get ghee everywhere, but in Poland, beef is 4 times more expensive than pork. No, in the U.S., beef is about twice as expensive as pork. Are there any vegetable oils that are natural? Well, you know, you can get cold pressed vegetable oils, right? Those are probably better to use than hydrogenated oils. You understand? So there's a difference in like hydrogenated vegetable oils and cold pressed vegetable oils. Yeah, exactly, Time Machine. They actually don't use a lot of hydrogenated vegetable oils in Asia, but they still have high rates of heart disease. Like, yeah, exactly, Archive. Like China and India have a lot of heart disease because they use a lot of vegetable oils, fried foods and noodles and whatever. So, yeah, still clogs arteries, but not as bad. It's not as bad. There's also other things that can clog the arteries, like calcium and stress. So it isn't just like on vegetable oils, but they're definitely a big player, especially because it's in all our foods. The hydrogenated oils being the ones that are the worst. So 4 likes. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out. It's 8:30 yet? Let me check. No, exactly 8:30. Wow, how about that? Right on the money. Right on the money. Let me check this one. That's disappointing. Where would you find that in nature? So people have always had clogged arteries even in historically past. Probably to some degree, yeah, but not like they do now. Where would you find that in nature? What, seed oils? I mean, look, seed oils are not a new thing, guys. Like tahini, sesame seed oil. There's cold pressed oils. Oh, okay. Arjuna said their goal is to clog everyone's lymphatic systems. Yeah. Partly true. Partly true. Definitely think so. Coming up on an hour and a half. I don't know, we'll maybe cut it here before 9 o'clock. Kind of want to get to bed early. Just being a troll. It's okay. Classic. Yeah. Goodness gracious. What a week. Gosh, I can't even believe it. Ugh, it was so terrible. It doesn't even seem like... It's like a week's just gone like that. Like that. Can't even believe it. It's crazy. Where's the time go? It felt like forever. Time felt like it was dragging on forever. And, yeah, I was like, this is never going to end. But I knew it was, of course. And, yeah. I should start the orange smoothies sooner next time. Those really make a huge difference. I didn't really even think about it until I started having the chest symptoms, which, you know, when they started, they didn't get too bad because I was hitting I drank like 4 a day for 2 days, and then I did like 2 or 3, and then I did 1. I'll probably do another milkshake tonight after I eat this chicken, and that'll be good. What do I do for work? Property management. I also do these consultations and some personal training, that sort of thing. So, resells stuff on Craigslist, OfferUp. Stuff I find on the curbs or from cleaning out houses, you know. I mean, because when you don't have to pay for the stuff, you can flip it for like $5, $10, $15, $20. And it's like, if you have something people really want and it's cheap, it'll sell instantly. So that's pretty nice. I don't dumpster dive. Yeah, but honestly, reselling sucks right now because nobody has any money. The economy sucks. So, um, yeah. Of course, the holidays are coming up. That's always a good time. But outside of that, after that, it's going to be pretty bad. So, no, I don't dumpster dive really. Not anymore. I mean, the good stuff that people get rid of is on the curbs. It's not in the dumpsters. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people dumpster dive, especially behind like Aldi's or certain stores. Um, yeah, like certain nights because that's when they throw out all the meat, and you can get food that's still good for a couple days. Take it home. I wouldn't do that because the meat's not good quality anyway. So maybe if it was cold and for oysters, but I haven't looked into that yet. Yeah, I mean, plenty of stores here throw out perfectly good food. So um, if it's in a package, it's not in bad condition. Might as well take it. It was a big thing in college, but when I was in college with other friends. But I mean, I don't really do it anymore, like at all. Recently ate restaurant vegetable oil meal while I was traveling because I thought I was missing out. Felt so terrible for long enough that I ran back to the diet. Yeah. Veg oil cooked meat is a Faustian bargain, I think. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy people do that. Like, it's like, oh yeah, let's ruin this perfectly good piece of meat. uh, Imagine. Crazy. Um, yeah. I'm. Can you dissolve veg oils without baths? No, not really. Um, I been driving around with a food grade bucket and a knife in my car for deer as roadkill. Haven't gotten lucky yet, fortunately. So hopefully I find some. Carve it up. Take home a week's worth of meat at least. Meat getting easier and easier to digest and eat every day. Yep. That's what happens on the diet. If you want to help it along, good idea to eat a little pineapple or put some ginger in your vegetable juice. How much Gerolsteiner would you recommend on the diet? Probably 2 cups a day if you needed the water. But like, I don't know. In the winter, I don't need the water, so I would probably just drink one when I was taking a hot bath. Those are nice in the bath. Why does raw meat get easier to digest the more you eat it over time? Because your digestion improves. Your body heals as you eat the raw meat, so your body's regenerating and improving, so that's why it gets easier. Just like anything else. Right again, RJ. I mean, anybody who invaded my house would be met with the most. Anybody who invaded my house would be met with the most extreme force. Do not play that. I do not play that. It doesn't matter who it is. If someone comes breaking into my house, it'll probably be the last thing they do, honestly. If you don't have access to organic vegetables for vegetable juice, what's your best bet? Just wash them and soak them in the formula. The whey, apple cider vinegar, lime juice, quality water, maybe a little milk. Just soak it in that for 10 minutes. Dry it off, rinse it again, and then use that. Yeah. Self-defense situation. Yeah, pretty much. Celery is pretty difficult to grow. It attracts a lot of insects. It also needs a lot of nutrients. Celery is difficult to grow. But if you can grow it, it's very good. It's much better when you grow it. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good. I mean, you got to be able to get organic produce. It's honestly not that hard. I think Walmart even has organic celery. So you just got to look. No, I'm not going to torture anybody. Listen, if someone broke into my house, I wouldn't take time to ascertain who they were. I would neutralize the threat as swiftly as possible. It'd be over before you know it. So, it's not personal. I mean, I don't have anything against the guy. He's just a crazy guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. I just asked the same question about home invasion. Yeah, advanced systems. Yeah, he had those after his incident, he had those whatever motion detectors he'd put in his hotel room. And he'd carry a gun, I guess. I'd have to ask Jeff if he ever saw Audrey's gun. That's a good Jeff question for the next time I talk to him. Hey, did you ever see Audrey's gun? Do you know what kind of gun he used? Yeah, that'd be good. So, do I want to eat that butter? Yeah, I guess I will. Just let it melt in my mouth. Thankfully, it's got a little honey on it. Oh, goodness gracious. Do I think Audrey was killed? Yeah, he probably was, to be honest. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not really going to speculate on what people were telling the story and why, and I wasn't there. I don't know them, so I take precautions that my experience deems necessary. Yep, very prudent. Very prudent, RJ. So, yeah. Let's see here. I am not a big fan of butter. They had a lot of nervous motions in the video, biting nails, arm crossing, just interesting. Yeah. I mean, I've honestly never watched the video, so personally. Ray Godis is a criminal. Is he level 100 boss or level 1 slave? Probably like level like 35. 10 liters of raw milk. Nice. That's like 2.5 gallons. That's almost what I drink in a week. I used to drink 3, but I cut back. I'll have an excess. I still have milk from last week I gotta drink. It's nice and fermented. Probably won't get to finish it until tomorrow, until I finally get over this whole flu. Don't like doing a lot of milk, like I said, for those reasons. EMF clothing is yeah, so maybe he isn't bouncing around, or he's using a fake passport. EMF clothing is, I guess it's kind of legit, but the metal flakes off and you breathe it in. So diabetes was cured in ancient time with just milk. Modern times, because raw milk nutrients are high, raw meat, milk and 10 eggs, you can heal in 6 months. It's because of the refrigerated milk. He said the example was it would took him 3 months to cure diabetes with a raw milk diet of fresh milk, but if it was chilled, it'd probably take about 6 months. Yeah, when I was getting unrefrigerated milk, it was twice as healing. It was twice as delicious. So, milk is not cope. Raw milk has made me feel tighter and more muscular. Well, I think that's how they are. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. He might just be holed up in one place then, but I mean, let's put it this way. If you have enough money to grease the guards, like, you can get through. It doesn't matter. That's how that stuff works over there, man. Like, you can bribe your way, honestly. I don't think he eats raw all the time, for sure. His health, his physicality doesn't demonstrate he eats raw all the time. Yep, Burger King. No, you should probably just buy food for yourself instead of being a slave scriber. Thoughts on chips? I always thought chips are nasty, potato chips, but women love it. What does that even mean? Why are we always talking about this man called Godus? I don't know, people bring it up. I pretty much just play off the chat. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it or not, he's part of the raw meat stuff, so. And on the internet, there's a lot of Godus cells out there, and they do kind of flow through here. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, definitely mineral deficiencies. Yeah, I mean, he's also just kind of a lol cow, so, you know, that's the other angle. I used to enjoy some salt and vinegar chips for sure, though. Salt and vinegar, classic sour cream and onion, those are my go-to flavors. My mouth kind of watering just thinking about them. Also getting blisters in my mouth just thinking about them. Wow. Time Machine's a pure soul. Probably has problems from steroid usage. Yeah, that stuff adds up. It takes its toll. He probably looks girly because he uses filters. So that's probably a big part of it. He uses filters that are designed for women to make them look better. What do I use for toothpaste? Water or raw milk? That's it. Pretty plain Jane. Nope. I don't have a gray hair on my body. Baking soda is not good toothpaste. Wow, 10 viewers, 4 likes. Thanks, everybody. Well, baking soda is salt, first of all. And I think it's a little abrasive on the teeth. It also changes the pH in your mouth. Definitely 6'5" and ugly. If Goders threw a Molotov through your window, how would you survive in that self-defense situation? I call the fire department and then get in my car and then run them over. Most likely in a self-defense situation. Of course, in Minecraft. Not in real life. That's wild. You're in your 30s and don't have a single gray hair yet. Not even in my beard, man. Nope, it's all black. I don't know. I think it's kind of early to get gray hairs in your 30s. I'd expect to see that like in your 40s, but you know, my families have pretty good genes too. So, you know, I have a grandma, or not a grandma. She's my great aunt, and she's like 97. Her health's doing not great, and it hasn't been, but she's hanging on. And then I have another aunt who's 90, 89, and she's still really active and drives and stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna show him who's what driving's cars like. Have you seen the movie Ogenus acted in? No, I haven't. I'm 38 and I have some gray in my beard and some gray in my hair near the temples. Interesting. My brother's 34. A lot of his hair is gray. Can't even grow a beard. Is an alcoholic and very toxic, though, of course. Yeah, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's tough when family's got those issues. What do you do? I don't know what gray hair is caused by. Oof. Yeah, Adderall is terrible for you, man. It wrecks your whole body because it basically just dries it up, and your body has a hard time producing mucus. It's really destructive. So, yeah, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that. Okay, I think we're going to go another 7 minutes. Is high quality frozen meat better than low quality fresh? Some people might say. Some people might say. I've been eating supermarket beef all summer, and I'm on the fence about it. I could go either way, maybe, because I see the amount of chemicals they clean with and stuff, and it gets into the meat, and it just grosses me out. Not to mention the other USDA processing chemicals it goes through already. It's pretty terrible. Plus, all the stuff the animal's raised with, like, when you start talking through it, it's like a lot of stuff. It's like, okay, well, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So, I was biologically prepped for a lifetime of addiction because of chronic chemical imbalances. So learning about nutrition provided a crutch for me to not. Yeah, pretty much. And it all really comes down to the endocrine system. So balancing and fixing your endocrine system is a key for overcoming any addictions. Absolutely. Yeah, we had a panel on addictions. It was very good. Yeah, exactly, Time Machine. It was just based on dogs. I don't even think it was based on cats. I talked about this last night, and there are dogs who eat chicken and it makes them have mange and gives them bad side effects. Like they can't eat the chicken for some reason. So it isn't just like, dogs have tolerances for different kinds of meats too. So carbonated water is fine. Yeah, I mean, what I would do is I would mix in a raw egg and some honey into the water. The carbonated water needs to be naturally carbonated. So like Gerolsteiner, Bajormi, those are good brands. I don't know what they have in Thailand. I'm sure there's all sorts of fancy, crazy stuff you can get, but make sure it's naturally carbonated. And I would mix in an egg and some honey, and you can do some fruit as well. To make a soda, make like a mock soda, a mocktail, and sip on that. The hydration formula is a good recipe. You can check that out in my school. In the classroom, there is a recipe for hydration. Also, you can just drink more vegetable juices. Sugarcane juice with celery and parsley, a little pineapple. Do you ever notice effects from holding phone or using laptop for long periods? My phone, yeah, in my left hand, in my arm, which is where I do have an injury prior. Otherwise, not really. Not really on the laptop. But yeah, sometimes holding the phone, yeah, I don't do it. I stop. It's bad. And try to have the phone on airplane mode when I'm using my phone if I can help it. How to heal from Adderall damage. Lots of raw fats, lots of milkshakes. That's pretty much it. Fish and chicken to help heal the nerves. That's pretty much it. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you know what you're talking about, RJ. I'm right with you. The ones I got are artificial. Just shake out the carbonation. Just, pour it in a glass and stir it, or just shake the bottle and just off gas it until it goes away. You can get the artificial carbonation out that way. The sport drink, it can taste weird. It does taste good though. If you make it right, it does taste good. So the 2013 version is the best tasting, especially if you add in a little extra honey. It'll be sweeter, and the berries and the pineapple make it like really taste good. I think the best tasting combination is a base of watermelon, cucumber, and tomato, and then you add in the eggs and the cream, honey, apple cider vinegar, citrus juices, pineapple. Yeah, that tastes really good. I mean, it's just a nice, like, satisfying, fruity cornucopia of delicious hydration. The apple cider vinegar gives it a nice tang. Beef not as important for Adderall recovery. I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's always good to have a mixture of meats, but I think the white meats for the nerves would be more beneficial. I mean, I do zero real research. That's not true, RJ. You come here. You come to the source. So, you do research. You put the time in. I see you. Don't be so down on yourself. A lot of people don't even come here. So, wow, 5 likes, 11 viewers. Thanks so much for the likes, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for doing it up in the chat. It's based. Yeah, the sport drink's great. It's, I love drinking it in the summer. It's really good. Yeah, if you make it like I do, it's good. Trust me. Have I experimented with ingesting parasites? I have not. One thing I will say about the sport drink is if the melons and the tomatoes are not in season, it's probably not going to taste as good as it could. It is going to taste better when the tomatoes and the watermelon are in season, obviously, yes. But you can mix and match parts of the sport formula. So, like, if you just had one ingredient, like cucumber, okay, so you have cucumber, right? Throw in some lemon and lime juice with some honey and eggs, and then some water and some cream, and you have, it's not a full sport formula, but it's close enough, and it's going to get the job done. It's going to keep you hydrated. It's going to give you energy. So, stuff like that you can do. And that tastes good. I mean, it tastes fine. Do I buy fruits from the store? Yes, I do. I also usually get them from the farmer's market when they're in season, and I work for this farm, so I know how they do their produce. I also know what they are getting shipped in and avoid that stuff. Labeling laws require, for the most part, that it discloses if there's wax on something, especially if it comes from California. The safest way to determine if something has wax on it is just assume it does. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter about organic produce unless it's something with the skin you're going to eat, like berries or peaches. So if you're buying tomatoes or oranges or lemons, don't eat the skins. Just peel them or just juice them, just the pulp of the lemon or the lime. Don't worry about the skin. And yeah, don't worry about it. Like, you're not going to eat those skins anyway. So cucumber skins, just peel the cucumbers. Peel all your cucumbers if you get them from the store. They all have wax on them. You don't need the skins. You just need the meat. When is cottage cheese good to eat? Anytime. You can eat cottage cheese anytime. Hello, Primal Neff. Jorgen. Borgen, Jorgen, Schmorgen. What up? Excuse me. It feels like I have a lot more mucus in my body, but not a lot is coming out. I guess that's a good thing. I need a break. What time is it now? It's 9:15. Jeez Louise, guys. I'm cutting it. I'm going to go watch One Piece. Is digital ID the mark of the beast? Probably. We're going to get it soon, along with digital currency. Those are coming before 2028, I'm pretty sure. Definitely before 2030. I think there will probably be some sort of terrible event next year because it's the, what is it, the bicentennial of the United States, 200 years, 250 years. So they're going to have big celebrations all across the country and events. I'm going to try to go to some of them. I think they'll be pretty cool. But it's possible something bad would happen and it will usher in, the next World War, the next civil conflict. Things are kind of heating up because you have the administration cosplaying as some sort of dictatorship, fascist dictatorship, but it really isn't. And it's riling up these people, and they're rioting and shooting these National Guard people, and it's just going to get worse. So, yeah. What are you going to do? Oh well, can't dwell on that. What's so bad about carpets? Carpets, my man, awful. They off-gas a bunch of chemicals. They have a lot of plastic fibers that go into the air, and then you breathe them in. They get in your food, they get in your water, you ingest them. Carpets are terrible, really bad for you. So, yeah, if you can help it, don't have them in your house. So, carpets are a big no-no. Terrible. Pope Francis is, I don't know. It's not for me to know or decide. That's for God to know. So, okay, guys. Taking off. So, good night. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you Wednesday.